What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and we are here back in the studio for some more transfer updates for you guys today. It's been a good weekend, a good long weekend. Did you have a good birthday, Sim?
Birthday?
Yeah. Last week, your birthday?
It was like 3 weeks ago now.
3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Well, did you have a good birthday 2 weeks ago?
I did. Yeah, I had a great birthday. Thank you.
I don't think we've been
Champions
live
League.
since your birthday.
Have we not?
Maybe once or twice.
Must have been.
Fair enough. I'm losing track of time here. That's how crazy it's going for me.
He's got a big day coming up in a winner, 6 days' time, so understandable.
Yeah.
But look, it's been a good weekend. The Jubilee, lovely stuff. Congratulations to the Queen.
Yes.
70 years.
Congratulations to the Queen, yeah.
Long may she reign. Lovely stuff. But look, that's not the most important thing. Let's get some transfer updates. That's what everyone's here for.
No, everyone's here just to wish you happy birthday, Sim. That's what everyone's here for.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
But look, I know you guys have been gagging for some more transfer content. We've got a few updates for you today. And let's start off with the one that you all want to hear, and that is about Alessandro Bastoni of Inter Milan. And his agent was talking, actually, during the week. And he says, this is a direct quote, and he says, he is a huge fan of the team he plays for. He likes at Inter, but he is also a professional. Football is this, and we must adapt. He is very happy to play for Inter. He has the shirt on his skin. What do you make out of that quote? Because a lot of people are saying, like, it maybe does hint towards him at the exit door, but it's obviously saying that he loves Inter Milan. But if you're a professional, you're a professional, and these things happen in football.
And I think he's definitely hinting at that, for sure. Otherwise, why would he say that bit? You know, saying, but he is a professional, and, you know, he'll act professionally. And I think look, agents more than anyone. First of all, the agent has a vested interest in getting Bastoni the move because he gets agent's fee for the transfer, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So obviously that would lean him to kind of push for the move a bit. But agents know how the football world works. They know exactly how the Inter Milan owners work. They've been selling all their top assets for a number of years due to financial difficulties. So I think this could be no different. And obviously, we know that Bastoni loves Inter Milan. He's made no secret of that. So I think he's making that clear. But he's also saying if he has to leave, then for the good of the club, then he'll leave. I think that's what he's hinting at. So I think it's a positive update for me. And maybe we can get the ball. I think still, I don't know, still like, a week left of internationals and stuff, or a couple of weeks. So I still think we have to wait to get any serious movement on the transfer. But once that's over, then we'll see how quickly we can move. Because he's going to want him in for the Korea pre-season if it's a goer.
No, I believe the internationals do finish this week. I think England's last international is tomorrow against Germany, right? We don't have another one after that.
I think, don't we play 3?
Definitely finished by this weekend, I believe. But there are a few other updates going around the other sources. Calcio Mercato is saying that Inter want at least 60 million euros for Bastoni. And in case of a great offer, Inter would try and make him understand that the path of divorce is inevitable, which is interesting. Corriere dello Sport is saying that Bastoni is open to Tottenham and Marcos Sensei could arrive in his place. And Ali Gold did an update this morning, and he says Tottenham's interest in Bastoni is not just about signing a talented player, but also about forging a strong partnership down the left-hand side of the pitch with Ivan Perisic, which began during their title-winning season in 2021 under Antonio Conte. Bastoni is happy in Italy, but Tottenham hope Inter's need to sell to finance their summer transfer plans could end up pushing him towards the move once he returns from international duty.
Yeah.
So not much new things there, but I mean, all things are kind of like swaying in the way of him leaving the club, aren't they?
Yeah, and obviously we'll get into the news about who Inter might sign, but also I think it's important as well that Bastoni and Perisic obviously had a great link-up in their time Inter Milan, especially under Conte as well. Bastoni is quoted as saying that Perisic is a different breed compared to other footballers in terms of how he takes care of himself and how good of how he looks after himself and how his longevity is a different level. He apparently once asked Perisic what he's eating. He said, "Whatever you're eating, I need to eat some of that because I don't know what you're eating." But I think that would be brilliant because they've clearly got a good partnership going. And I think that would be very positive to add that to what we have at Tottenham. So I have to wait and see, but we don't know yet whether our interest is going to be enough to get Bastoni to force a move out, because he might have to push for it a bit. But obviously, Inter Milan also need the money. But there's a negotiation. You know, we're prepared to pay the money, but Inter obviously you need top dollar for what they're getting, because otherwise the fans are going to be absolutely furious. They're going to be furious anyway. But if it's not like top dollar, there might be like riots, honestly, because they're getting angry about the summer.
Yeah, there's been a lot of kind of hype around social media. Well, not hype, but there's been a lot of talk around social media about the Inter fans coming out against the ownership and stuff like that. And talking about top dollar, let's talk about Romelu Lukaku, because Corriere dello Sport, obviously it's no secret that Lukaku wants to go back to Inter Milan. He loves Inter Milan and he's not having a good time at Chelsea and what have you. And there's been an update saying that if Inter Milan want Lukaku, they need to beat Tottenham. I don't know what this means, but it says London is convinced that Tottenham can do a crazy move in the end of the transfer window. And do you think that this kind of spurs interest? Well, this is what I think anyway, that this kind of spurs interest, or the media linking Spurs to Lukaku might be just to force Inter's hand a little bit in selling Bastoni to us.
Potentially, because I don't think there's any chance we sign Lukaku. Obviously, Conte got the best out of him. Might have had the best season of his career under Conte. But I don't think there's any chance, that especially while Kane is at the club, that we sign Lukaku. I really don't see us, unless Chelsea are willing to let him go out on loan to us, which I really don't see being a possibility.
We're not signing Lukaku.
So, it's complete nonsense, in my opinion. So it must be, I don't know, agent talk, or maybe someone's putting 2 and 2 together and getting 8. I don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense to me that there's any chance that Lukaku deal. If you do think there might be a possibility, with the fact he's at Chelsea, I just don't think there's any chance that they let him go to us.
I just got a feeling like it could be, put into the press by Spurs or something, just to force Inter's hand a little bit and to hurry them up, because they know he's going to cost a lot of money, Lukaku, wherever he goes. I mean, they signed him in the summer for 100 million, the best part of 100 million anyway. And if they want him back, they're going to have to pay close to that at least, or if not, like a loan with an option to buy with big money.
They're not going to sign him for any money. There have to be a loan. I mean, it's going to have to be a loan.
When you're looking at Inter that need to make a profit of 60 million, it just doesn't make sense for them to bring in Lukaku.
If it's a loan,
because even if it's a loan, they're going to need to pay a loan fee and stuff like that. And if they need to make a profit of 60 million, how are they going to do that? Bring in defenders as well to replace whoever they bring out. You know what I mean? It's going to be hard for them to do.
Of course, but I don't think. I think a loan deal with the loan fee for Lukaku is probably the least of their worries, to be honest, compared to other things they want to do. So I don't see if Chelsea are prepared to let him go back out on loan. I see that not being too much of an issue, to be honest. Especially if there's an option to buy for a decent fee, means they don't have to spend it this summer, but. It depends who they sell, I guess. I think a lot of pressure is on Bastoni to go, to be honest, because I think Barella, I don't think they'll want to lose him. They've already got some good centre-backs anyway, in Skriniar and De Vrij, and they've got some good centre-backs there. And they can get Bremer for a cheaper than what they get Bastoni in, so they make a bit of money there. So it makes the most sense, really, because it'll be much more expensive to replace Barella with similar quality than it would Bastoni.
Absolutely.
So I think it does point in the direction of him leaving, to be honest.
And another interesting development today is Glongari is saying that Inter Milan are closing in on a €30 million deal to sign Gleison Bremer off Torino. So if they can get Bremer get Bremer in for €30 million, sell Bastoni to us for €60 million, that's only another 30 million that they need to make up, and that would be a great bit of business for them in terms of the financials.
And they can maybe sell some fringe players, get a bit of money, so that all makes sense. So. Obviously, we don't know the exact case. We've heard they need to make a profit of 60 million, but what happens if they only make a profit of 50? I don't know what happens then. You know what I mean? But for sure, them getting closer to Bremer is good news for us. It means there must be some movement somewhere else, because I can't see them at the moment with the trouble they're in spending any money without knowing that they're getting that money back and more. So I think. It could be very positive that Bremer's getting close. Although apparently we're interested I don't know whether it's to hurry up the deal or in case Bastoni falls through, we go for Bremer. Could be either. Because I think we are genuinely interested in him.
Yeah, I think he is on the list, but I just don't think he's not obviously not as high up as a Bastoni or maybe a Pau Torres on the list. So we'll see how that one develops. But I think this news about Bremer, if it is true, but Gongari usually is quite reliable. If it is true, I think it's a good development in terms of the Bastoni deal for us. I really believe that.
Yeah, I agree.
So that is the situation on Bastoni at the moment. A bit more positive today, but we'll have to see how that one develops. But let's move on and let's talk about Jed Spence now. It's been hotting up a bit in the last few days. Jed Spence to Spurs. I'll read for you the couple of updates that have been doing the rounds. First of all, Scott Wilson of the Northern Echo says that Tottenham's interest in Jed Spence is at an advanced stage at the moment, and they are growing in confidence of completing the deal. Antonio Conte identified Spence as one of his key summer targets and told the club to sign him at all costs. Jack Talbot is saying that Tottenham have submitted a €20 million bid for Jed Spence, and Ali Gold said that Spurs, Dortmund, Roma, Newcastle, Brentford and Forest are all willing to pay the fee that Middlesbrough want, and Tottenham are among the front runners. Now it's pretty much just a case of Spence making his decision. So out of those clubs, I mean, you'd probably say that we're the most attractive one out of those clubs.
Yeah, I would. I would say Dortmund have, albeit now at this point, they've got a history of developing good English players, young English players in Bellingham and Sancho.
In general, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that probably wouldn't. You'd probably look at that and think that's a good move for him if he was able to go to Germany. But Spurs at the moment, he's played a back three for Nottingham Forest. Conte is known for improving his wing backs, playing Champions League football as well in London. That might really attract him. So I do think at the moment we're the most attracted. There are fans who think maybe the best option would be to sign him and loan him back out instead of putting him straight in the first team and maybe signing a bit more of an experienced right wing back. That's an interesting option, but it makes it more difficult, I guess. Who do we sign? If Spence is signing for the homegrown, his benefit is that he's homegrown. So if we don't, if we send it back out on loan, what do we do for next season for our wing back?
I don't see that being a case, to be honest. I think if we sign him, we're signing him to fight for the first team. That's what I believe, and I think that what he's shown, from what I've seen anyway, against teams like Arsenal, against Leicester, scored a brilliant goal against Leicester. I mean, he's performing well in the Championship all season. I think he's coming in straight to fight for the first team. I don't really think about the loan.
Do you think he becomes our number one right wing back next season if we sign him?
I think if we sell Emerson and let's say for argument's sake we're left with Doherty and Spence, I think Doherty starts as number one, but I think Spence will get it off him. That's what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think Conte values experience over bringing people through, and as much as Spence has quality, unless Spence is showing unreal ability to go into Conte's system immediately, I do think Doherty will be our number one right wing back next season. And part of me is like, okay, first of all, when's he back? He's going to be still a while, isn't it?
Doherty, yeah, I'm not sure.
He's got a bad injury, so see how we don't
sure
know.
He'll be back for pre-season or the start of the season,
because he could have been 6 months. They said,
wow.
Didn't they? It was all three. Well, a lot was a long
3
one.
months, wasn't it? But anyway,
3. Yeah. It depends how bad it was. I can't remember. Was it 3 months? It was a long time. I remember. It was at least 3. But he got injured in April, didn't he? So maybe pre-season, maybe he'll be all right. But we don't know if he's going to be back as good as he was, especially straight away. It might take him a bit of time to get back up to speed. But the way he was performing when he was at his best was very good. But it was good, but is it a case of was he outperforming himself? Could he play in the Champions League like that? I don't know. And then if the answer is no, if the answer is he isn't getting back to his best because for one reason or other the injury is hit him too much, or he's taking extended time, then all of a sudden all this pressure goes on a 21-year-old who has never played Premier League football in his life, and that is a situation which I don't know if I'm comfortable with in our right wing backs slot going into next season.
Yeah, but there's always the option of Perisic there as well.
Yeah, it's true. Although he does usually play on the left.
He does, but he has been deployed on the right before. He's so ambidextrous that I don't think it would hurt him too much to play there. In
theory, it shouldn't.
And I think that when you're looking at the left, obviously you got Sessegnon and Perisic on the right. You're talking about potential Spence and Doherty. The problem is that we don't know if Doherty is going to come back to full fitness straight away, and Sessegnon on the other side is always injured.
Yeah, that's
so
also a problem.
That's also big problems that we got.
Yeah. So, I don't know, a few question marks at the moment thinking about next season. But if Doherty does come back and he's as good as he was, then we shouldn't have a problem. But I don't know. I feel like part of me wants us to sign Spence, send him out on loan, and then sign a bit more experienced one, and then have Spence on loan in the Premier League or something, get him a year's experience playing that, and then he can come back and he'll be ready to have that pressure on him. But right now, I just don't know if it's fair. Like, I feel like if he comes in and he isn't like great straight away, or at least good, like straight away, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's not good enough, oh, he's rubbish, and then all of a sudden all that pressure gets heaped on him, and he could very well be playing Champions League football as well. And I'm not saying he's not good enough for that. I'm just saying he's only ever played Championship. It's a big ask.
It is. We got a super chat here from and he says, member for 16 months, by the way. Big up, Danny. And he says, big up, my brothers. How are you? Hope you are good. I'd only want Spence if we bring in another right wing back. He's a great prospect, but not for a team wanting a title.
Yeah, that's basically my point, I guess. I agree. I want Spence. I wouldn't want to miss out on someone who's of his perceived quality. He looks great. He's young. He could be a very good right wing back, and maybe he will surprise us, and we'll sign him, and he'll just go from strength to strength, and he'll be like, a great right wing back. But part of me also is like, do we want to sign him and then have just him and Doherty? I kind of feel like we probably need another one.
Yeah, I get your point. I mean, I kind of agree. I mean, if we do sign Spence, I would like another right wing back there as well. But if we were to sign the other right wing back, then I'd be happy to probably get rid of Doherty. And I mean, I was saying a few weeks ago when we were doing our streams that my preference would be to get rid of both Emerson and Doherty and to bring in two fresh new right backs, regardless of who comes in. So that would be my number one. Would that be probably your preference, to get rid of both of them and to bring in two fresh new right backs?
I think so. I think in an ideal world, I would, yeah. But depends who the right wing back is. But yeah, ideally, I probably would get rid of them. Or it could be a case of we just keep Doherty and then like sign Kostic, and then we have Kostic, Perisic, Sessegnon, Doherty, and Spence, and then we're fully covered for any scenario.
No, I'd happily take that. Take that. I think that would be brilliant. And I think what would happen a lot, I think we might end up with Kostic on one side and Perisic on the other side.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love that.
Yeah.
So I think there are definitely options for us. But whether, I don't know. I just got a feeling the Kostic talk has died down, although no one's really... There were talks of him agreeing a deal with Juventus. That's kind of been gone quiet. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think that could be a very good solution if we get Kostic as well as having Perisic. And then we have Sessegnon. And then we have options. Yeah,
I do feel like once these internationals are over, I think the transfer market is going to go in overdrive. And, you're going to see a lot of deals getting done. I mean, you've got to remember that the transfer window is not even open yet. And teams are making a lot of signings already. And but also what you got to remember is the season's coming around a lot quicker than it usually does. Because I think we're 5-6 weeks away from the start of the season already.
We're I think it's 7th of August. Actually, the fixtures come out 10 days from today.
16th, yeah.
So I think it says 6th of August is the start of the season.
First weekend in August, I believe it is.
So we're not far away from it already.
Usually the season starts in like mid-August, late August, something like that.
Yeah, usually about 16th maybe, something like that.
Because of the World Cup. It's bringing everything forward. But look, that's the update on Spence. Let's talk about Steven Bergwijn now, because he's been talking, Louis van Gaal's been talking, and Fabrizio Romano has also been talking about the situation. Van Gaal said after his international game, he says, if it's up to me, Steven Bergwijn may join Ajax as soon as possible. And he was also talking, Gary Jacob brought it to us, and he says Tottenham forward Steven Bergwijn is the subject of a £70 million bid from Ajax. And the quote from Steven Bergwijn was, it's difficult for me. I play well for the national team, but when I return to the club, people turn a blind eye to me. I need to find a solution. And the reporter asked him, the solution seems clear to you? You need to leave. And he says, just plain out, yes, he does need to leave. And Romano this morning gave us an update and says that Tottenham want around 30 million euros to let Steven Bergwijn leave this summer. Ajax are working on it with an official proposal, still waiting to reach an agreement with Spurs. There are many clubs interested in Bergwijn, but Ajax are on it since January. And I believe I was reading somewhere that Everton are another club that are interested in bringing him in. But it looks as though, I mean, these Ajax rumours and Ajax talks haven't gone away for ages now, and I believe it will get done at some point.
It's sad though when you see him playing so well for Holland, and then you see the quotes that he feels like he's invisible when he goes back to his club, and he's not respected and no one sees him for his true quality, and Van Gaal brings him into international duty and gives him all the confidence, he says, and that's why he wants to leave essentially. And it is sad because I think he's a player who came with we bought him with such high hopes. I think he started so well, and then it kind of went wrong for a while, but I think it's a shame because next season I do believe he would get the game time that he so craved, but it's almost like it's come too late because he's already made his mind up that he needs to leave. And from that view, it's just a sad situation. I mean, I actually kind of don't agree.
I thought you were going to burst into a blue song there.
I don't agree that he needs to leave for the betterment of his career at this point, actually, because we're in Champions League. I think if he stayed, he would get good game time next season, and he could even be playing Champions League football next season, and maybe that could give him the confidence. But I just feel like the fact that he got so little game time in the second half of last season, especially after that Leicester moment, when was the hero and he got the winner of those 2 goals, and it looked like for all the world to see he was going to start finally getting some more game time after, and it never happened. And it wasn't even his fault why it never happened, because whenever he came in, he played well, so he couldn't do much more. It was the fact that we were playing 1 game a week, and Kulusevski, Son and Kane were just so good.
Yeah, Kulusevski and Son, they were so good, but the fact of the matter is Lucas Moura always got on the pitch before him.
Yeah.
And Lucas Moura wasn't playing well whatsoever, and Bergwijn was limited to 2-3 minutes here. And I kept saying, we both kept saying, like, what does Bergwijn need to do to get more minutes? I mean, we're not even asking him to start, but to come on half an hour, 20 minutes, something like that at least, to show what he can do, not just give him 2-3 minutes here and there. Yeah.
And the fact that, I don't know. Look, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I don't know whether Bergwijn was sulking and Conte was getting frustrated by it. I don't know whether Lucas was amazing in training. I don't know. I don't really know what the situation was behind the scenes, to be honest. But for one reason or another, he always chose Lucas over Bergwijn, and maybe that's what truly made up Bergwijn's mind as to the reality was that he had to leave.
I think so.
He will go on to be a good player for Ajax, I think. I think he will smash it out in the Eredivisie, and again, like he did for PSV. And I think he'll be a very good signing, and he'll earn his place in the World Cup, and he'll probably earn a move back to another good club in either Spain, Italy, or England. I'm sure of it. But it's not going to work out. 30 million, I think, is a fair price for someone of his ability. I know he hasn't scored too many goals for us, but I think if you're looking at a player with Bergwijn's ability, I think 30 million euros is fair, especially with his age as well. So I don't think that's too much to ask.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think someone is Ajax are getting a very good player there.
If it is Ajax, they're saying it's not done till it's done. And the Ajax haven't sealed a deal, and Romano's saying there's many clubs in for him. Do I think in Bergwijn's position, do I have to go to a club in Champions League, or would I go to an Everton? I don't know. I want to go to a club where I'm definitely starting. He knows that Ajax. Everton at the moment, they have Richarlison on the left, so that'll be a difficult one unless they put Richarlison up front. So I don't know if I'd be desperate to go to Everton, but I think there are other Premier League clubs.
Richarlison's looking to leave Everton, so it could be a good kind of replacement for him.
I would definitely use Bergwijn in a make-weight for Richarlison. I think a very good deal for us.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Well, I have to see how it plays out, but I do kind of expect him to go to Ajax at some point during this window. We're looking for 30 million euros. They've had a bid rejected of £17 million. So they're not that far away from each other.
And another interesting thing is as well, Conte spoke about how how he likes Bergwijn in the number 9 position, and that's where Holland have been using him, and he's been getting a lot of joy there.
Yeah,
I think he's actually got more goals for Holland in the past year than Spurs, which is amazing enough. And obviously his 2 goals against Leicester both came when he was up front as well. So we keep talking about and signing a striker, and then we have someone who can kind of do that role. We're letting him go, which is just look. It's a shame. I actually think if you asked Conte, would you rather keep Bergwijn? Just in terms of his quality, I reckon he would say yes. But I just think Bergwijn's made his mind up.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's probably just best to let him go.
Agreed.
Which is a shame.
Agreed. Look, we've just got an update from a game live in South Korea right now. South Korea have just beaten Chile 2-0.
Wow.
Heung-min Son getting on the score sheet as of a few minutes ago to seal the winner in the last minute of the game. Hwang Hee-chan scored the opener after 10 minutes. And then
that's quite an upset, isn't it? Son, South Korea beating Chile?
Yeah, Chile did get a man sent off in the 50th minute, but they were 1-0 up. At that stage, so
it's impressive.
I'm not sure if I think Chile didn't qualify for the World Cup this year, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
Historically, they're pretty decent.
Historically, yeah, but at the moment, I mean, I'm looking through their team now.
I guess Sanchez isn't what he used to be, is he?
He's not even playing. I mean, I don't know half these players on their team. Their captain is Gary Medel.
Gary still?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Maybe it isn't that much of a shock.
So, yeah, I literally don't know one player on their team. And there you go. Heung-min Son getting on the score sheet against Chile. Actually, I think that was a World Cup qualifier. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was a friendly.
I was about to say,
no, it was a friendly.
Yeah.
What was I going to... Just a few super chats to get through just before we move on. First one is from Ribsy85. He actually said this right at the beginning of the stream. And he says, wait, we're talking football? I'm here for some more baking videos.
Patience, patience.
Luke Diamond with the super chat. Big up, Luke. And he says, I wouldn't even be content with Lamptey as first choice, let alone Spence. And he's had Prem experience, but he still isn't a top player yet. And we need top at this point. Great young players, not see Champions League level.
Yeah, I mean, it depends because there are players like Spence who obviously we're not sure about because he hasn't played. But then Palace sign Olise, don't they? And he was brilliant. He's brilliant. Like he goes straight into the first team, and he's like a star in the Premier League already. And he never played Premier League before joining Palace. So it's Dele Alli. I know he's no good now, but when he first came into the team, he was great, and he'd never played Premier League before either.
You can even point to players like Ollie Skip. He had like hardly any time in the Premier League before he went on that loan move to Norwich. Played a whole season there and came back like a Premier League player.
Yeah. So. It depends how good the scouting is. If
Eze, someone says.
There are players who can make the step up, and there's no reason why Spence can't. The thing is, we don't know if he can, and to rely on him when we're looking to really kick on next season is a bit of a ask. But he might be up to it, and if he is, then great.
No, I think there's a good point here from Congo Dub saying, why are people questioning Conte's decisions? You're not an expert, shaking my head. And I think that's right. I mean, if Conte wants him through the door, we need to bring him through the door. But I still question if he's a Conte signing, Spence. Doesn't seem like one.
Seems like a Tottenham signing.
Yeah.
Just judged by... Look, it's one of those where I'm sure, Conte might look at him and think this guy's got quality, but we all know that Conte likes players to have a bit of experience as well to handle the big occasions and stuff like that and be consistent. And do I think that Conte would like to rely on Spence for a whole season? I don't know. Does Conte think... But then again, does Conte think Doherty or Emerson are good enough? Probably. I mean, we're hearing that he doesn't rate either of them, but I don't know.
True. Brandon Troller with the super chat member for 9 months. A big up, Brandon. Says Stevie B gonna be out the door. But what about Lucas? Reckon we sell him if a 15-20 million bid comes in. Also, big up on the Sonny shirts. Now, thank you for buying them. I remember seeing your name as we sent them out. And more are going to be restocked very soon. But I do think if a 15 to 20 million bid for Lucas comes in, I do think we accept that.
I think we should accept it. Although the question is, I guess the question is, who are we signing? Because if we're selling Bergwijn and Lucas, then we need 2 forwards all of a sudden. And forwards are not cheap, and especially ones that would improve us or challenge the front 3 that we already have. So a part of me thinks we probably will end up keeping Lucas.
Yeah, well, look, talking of forwards, I've got a couple of names here, some more updates to get through. And the first one is Alain Saint-Maximin. Ali Gold saying that Paratici is weighing up a move for Newcastle's Saint-Maximin this summer. Chris Waugh of The Athletic, Newcastle correspondent, saying that Newcastle would consider a bid of £40 million for Alain Saint-Maximin. However, a bid of such is not expected. What's your opinions on him? Because, you know, we've spoken about him quite a bit. End product isn't 100% there, to say the least. But he's a very tricky customer, and I really rate him as a player. Do you want to see him through the door at Tottenham?
I like him. I think he's better than Adama Traore. I think he's better than Lucas Moura. He's that kind of mould of player who's exceptional at dribbling, so effective when taking people on. In one-on-one situations, you might as well give up. You have to kind of double and triple up on him to make sure he doesn't get past you. Decision-making can be very frustrating. I actually think he's got a better shot than Lucas and Adama Traore. I think it's
anywhere near enough, though, does he?
He got 5 goals and 5 assists last season. Not for someone of his ability, it's not enough. But I do think he's got a better shooting technique than Traore and Lucas Moura. I think he's actually better in that those situations. I don't know how old he is at this point.
I'll tell you.
Saint-Maximin. But I do think he's a player with extreme ability, and I do think he's 25, so
25.
he's pretty good age. Like, I think he would be a very good signing. I think 40 million, I think he's an upgrade on Bergwijn. I think he comes in, he can easily play Champions League games. I think he offers something a bit different, because as much as we have Kulusevski, we have Kane, we have Son, but we don't have, I guess we have Lucas in that role, but we don't have someone like, say, Maximin, who's that much of an elite dribbler, especially him coming in, who can play, he's more comfortable on the left as well than he is on the right, like Lucas. So I think he does offer something different as well to our attack. I think 40 million, if we sell Bergwijn for 30 million and buy Saint-Maximin for 40, I think that's a good deal for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm really excited about Saint-Maximin as a player, and I think he does have elite qualities and top talent. It's just about unearthing the end product in his game and the decision making in his game. And I think Antonio Conte can do that. I believe that, and I think he's a player that will get you off your feet. You know what I mean? He gets the ball, and he's so hard to get the ball off. And I do think he would be more of an asset to us than both Bergwijn and Lucas Moura, which is an interesting one. But what do you guys think in the comment section below about Saint-Maximin?
Yeah, I think I'm all for it if we really want him.
Next up, let's talk about Christian Eriksen. The Mirror claiming that Man United have joined Tottenham and Everton in the fight to sign Christian Eriksen. Obviously, we brought you the news on Eriksen last week, saying that he wants Champions League football, and you know he could be swayed by the Conte version of Tottenham. Obviously, we've made it clearly known on this channel what our opinions are about Christian Eriksen, how we would love to see him back in a Spurs shirt. But if you've got the choice between Man U and Tottenham right now, surely there's only one place you're going.
Yes and no. You got to remember Eriksen trained with Ajax during his time off, and Ten Hag was there, so they might have a bit of a relationship. And maybe he would want to try something new in terms of he's been at Spurs, been there, done it. Maybe Man United, big club under Ten Hag, who he trained under. Maybe that's something he might look at and think. Maybe even though they're not in Champions League, that's something that's worth doing. From a footballing point of view, you're probably thinking Tottenham with Conte, who we worked under with Champions League football in an environment that he knows and maybe that he's more comfortable in. Maybe that's more suited to him right now. And as well, again, in Man United, in Spurs' team, there's a clear role in terms of we don't have a player like him. And when you go to Man United, they have Bruno there, they have Van den Beek there, who's going to have a bigger role. So where does he fit in? I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. So from that point of view, Tottenham's probably the better option for him. But he might fancy, because he nearly joined. Didn't he nearly join Man United? That one, or was that Alderweireld I'm thinking of? I think he was subject to a bit of Man United a few years ago.
He was, and
last
he promised Levy that he wouldn't go to another Premier League club.
Right.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And he ended up going to Inter.
But I think in the end we wanted to sell him because we wanted to get Bruno in, and then it didn't quite happen for some reason. I think maybe they didn't offer enough. We wanted 50 million and they were
something like that, yeah.
Less than that. So maybe it's something that he would seriously consider. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. If between us and United, he definitely chooses us. I don't think it is. But I hope he does, because I think he's such a great player. And I love him so much. I think he's brilliant. And I think he would be such an asset to our squad. And I think he would really boost Man United as well. And especially the way Ten Hag wants to play, I think he would be a big asset to them. So I wouldn't want him going there. But it is possible, because I think he knows Ten Hag now. And, I think it is definitely a possibility.
Interesting.
Maybe they can offer more. It's possible they can offer more money as well.
Yeah, maybe. But obviously we've got enough money, we can offer him top wages if we wanted to, How much do you reckon he would even command in wages right now? What are you saying, 150, something along those lines?
Along those lines.
Yeah.
You'd have to think so. I think he left Spurs probably earning like 80 grand a week. It was something like...
Probably less, yeah.
He needed more than that for the level he is. But I think if Man United were pushed, they could probably outdo us.
Yeah. Another one. The next one is a very interesting one about Gabriel Jesus from a journalist called Massimo Pavan. And he says Tottenham have offered 47 million euros to sign Man City striker Gabriel Jesus and want to finish the deal as soon as possible. Do you know this journalist? Do you see any truth in this?
I don't know who it is. Never heard of him. Tutto Juve or something, wasn't it?
Massimo Pavan, his name is.
Never heard of him. I don't know
I
how
think
reliable
that's what he's from. Yeah,
yeah,
Tutto Juve.
I mean, which maybe is a link to Tutto Mercato, maybe? I don't know.
Tutto Sport,
or
yeah.
Tutto Sport. I don't know. I know they are reliable, but I don't know if it's a genuine link there. I'm just putting two and two together. But maybe it could very well be agent putting out there to quicken Arsenal up, because that's where apparently they're the ones who are serious right now about bringing Gabriel Jesus to the club. So, I mean, for me, I think 47 million euros, if that is genuine and we do get him in for that kind of price, that's a pretty good deal, I think. I would take that.
Even with 1 year left in his deal.
Yeah, because I don't think it means anything. Because unless he's genuinely there's a chance he'll run down his contract. Then, if someone else is going to snap him up, then you're losing him. So it doesn't mean anything that he only has 1 year left on his deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a good signing. I think he'd be a very good player, because he's Champions League experience. Can play up front, can play out wide. I think he's got great quality. He's a good pressing forward as well. He's a very hard worker, good technique, good finisher. I think he'd be a very good signing. But I just think, I think he's probably better off at Arsenal if I was him. But I think if we can convince him, I think it'd be a good signing for us.
I know you're a big fan of Richarlison. Which player would you prefer through the door, Jesus or Richarlison?
It's a difficult one, It's a difficult one. I think I probably would rather Jesus, just because we're probably more in need of a backup, more someone who can play mainly up front and then secondly out wide potentially. I don't know, actually. It's difficult. I don't know who I'd rather, Jesus or Richarlison. I think Jesus is probably just about the better player. So I'll probably go for Jesus, but it's tight. I think Richarlison is great. I love Richarlison as well.
In my mind, I think it's clear on Jesus. I really think it's clear. I think, first of all, Richarlison plays a bit more off the left, and I think that we probably, if we were to sell Lucas, we would need someone more off the right, and I think Jesus is more adept to that. I think as a number 9 as well, I think Jesus is better than Richarlison at doing that, and I think that the quality of the two players, I think Jesus is better in terms of just, out and out quality. So I'd prefer Jesus, in my opinion, than Richarlison.
Fair enough.
But what would you guys want? Would you rather Jesus or Richarlison? In the comment section below, let me know what you think. And that is all we got in terms of transfer updates. We'll get through some of the super chats now. Avi Troop says, a little bit off topic, but do you think Spurs fans is quite split this season, and our people are very toxic in our Spurs fan base. We need to get together.
I don't think we are.
Look, I've seen a lot of craziness doing the rounds on Twitter since the season.
Yeah,
has
but that
finished,
doesn't represent the whole fan base.
It doesn't represent the whole fan base, but it's all a bunch of absolute nonsense.
Yeah, it's rubbish. I think you ask most when you say the fan base is split. Everyone's Conte in. I think most fans at this point appreciate that the owners are putting money in. I think everyone's backing that move. Everyone's excited. Most fans are excited about going into next season. Most fans are pretty happy with where we are right now, and Kane potentially signing a new contract. Look, Spurs are in a good place. I don't think there's anything at this point to be too unhappy about. Obviously, if things don't go away this summer, and then if Conte's unhappy with things and stuff, then there's something to speak about. But right now, I think there's reasons to be excited. I don't think fans are split about anything. There's no Conte inners and Conte outers or anything like that. So I don't know. I think for now, people who are like us anyway, people who are visibly or who are Levy out and ENIC out and all that kind of stuff are just putting it on the back burner for the time being because of what's happening. So I don't know. I think it's probably the most united we've been for the last couple of years.
It's most united we've been since probably the Champions League run, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah, I'd agree with that. It's just that when I see all this infighting on Twitter and stuff, it does.
That's just a few people. You're naming a dozen people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Josh Smith says, I'd use the 30 million euros for Bergwijn for Alan Saint-Maximin.
Yeah.
Brandon Troller with the super chat again, big up, says, hot take, we should sign Balotelli to back up Kane. Man was a beast in Turkey past year. Would be good for a solid laugh, score a hat-trick at Forest. And then he's followed up with another super chat and he says, we'll sign Sir Balotelli. He'll be knighted by 2024. Balotelli and Conte is a match made in hell.
Oh, God, imagine that.
The match
but
made
I saw that brilliant Rabona goal he scored.
Unbelievable,
yeah. By the way, Sonny scored a brilliant free kick.
Oh, it was a free kick, was it?
Yeah, he scored which keep aside.
And I've been saying all season, put Sonny on free kicks, man.
Maybe we can do. Can you get the? Can we do 5K player?
God, I've been saying it all season.
I think it might be all right because it's international friendly. I don't think we're going to get.
You don't think?
I don't think. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't risk it. I think it should be all right.
Yeah, but Sonny definitely needs to take our free kicks. I mean, it started for me when I saw that training regime and he was just banging in the free kicks left, right and centre. And for me, from what I've seen, he's much better than Kane at free kicks.
Oh, just to beat the wall, he's already better than Kane at free kicks.
And probably better than Eric Dyer as well. So I would absolutely have Sonny on free kicks. But big up to all you guys today. 1,400 people watching with us at the moment.
Do it on the phone.
Only 200 or so likes, so get those likes in. And also smash that subscribe button if you're new around here. We're going to show you the Son goal in a few seconds.
So we'll try and get up. Yeah, can we give us a sec?
But just bear with us.
Kaylee Davis says the only thing I'm split on is vaping.
Are you for it or against it?
She's split on it. A lot of people in the comments saying Zaha, or not a lot of people, there's one person just saying it a lot of times, saying Zaha.
Spamming Zaha in the comments.
I've always been I've been on record, I've always been a massive fan of Wilfried Zaha. I think he's a great player. He had a good season last season. I think he got like 13 goals, I think, in the Premier League.
Yeah, he did have a good season.
I know he's, the only problem with him at this point now, I think he's 29, so he's not a spring chicken, but I think he'd be a very good addition to Tottenham.
Is he 29 already?
I think so.
Yeah, you're right.
So but I'm a big fan of him. I think he'd be also a good player for us. I think in the new environment, I think he would actually be a good signing. I've always liked Zaha, but yeah, I think this guy, Pothead Essence, says Zaha is 3 years too late. And I have to agree with it. I think 3 years ago, I think we were linked with him 3 years ago. I would have been so on it.
I think we've been linked with him every summer since he joined Palace again.
Yeah, and I just don't think. I don't think now would be the time. I think I'd probably, if we're spending, say, 40, 50 million on Zaha, I'd probably rather spend it on, say, Saint-Maximin.
I'd agree with that.
All right, one sec, guys. We'll get Sonny on.
Let's check if there's any
We
more
can call it.
updates doing the rounds. We haven't set up a link or anything. So yeah, the update is new fixtures 16th of June, 9 a.m. GMT.
All right, let's bring it on. Here's Heung-min Son lining up for a free kick for South Korea. Beautiful. Keeper side into the corner.
Unstoppable from Sonny.
Beautiful
Big
slide
up.
from Heung-min Son. Lovely stuff. And that's why he should be on free kicks for Spurs.
Exactly.
Great strike.
Until James Ward-Prowse comes and then he has to step aside. But
some people saying Ben Davies, and I have to say, what a performance from Ben Davies yesterday in the World Cup playoff against Ukraine.
Yeah.
He was insane, and he doesn't get enough credit, man. He's been so good since Conte's come in, and I'm glad now he's been doing on international level for a number of years as well. I remember when they got to the semi-finals of the Euros, he was brilliant that Euros as well. I don't know how many other international tournaments they've been in, but whenever I've seen him, he's been great. And
2 Euros, I think there were. 2016, and the last one.
Yeah, and I just think he's been really, really fantastic ever since Conte's come in. I've been so happy with him, and he deserves respect. And I think even if we do bring in Bastoni, or I'm sure we will bring in another centre back, I still think he's going to have a big part to play next season.
But also you got Joe Rodon, who also seems to perform for Wales in these tournaments. And I didn't watch the game, but seeing like people's reactions on Twitter, they seem to think Joe Rodon had a really strong game as well. So I mean, it baffles me when I see Rodon play for Wales, how the game time he does get for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Because it's literally little next to nothing.
Maybe it will help us get a fee.
Yeah, hope so. And also who else played? England got battered by Hungary 1-0. Did you watch the game?
Yeah, I was watching bits of it. England were really lackluster against Hungary. Hungary actually were the better team throughout the game. It wasn't one of those where it was like a smash and grab. They deserved to win. And it's not the first time we've looked a bit short of ideas under Southgate recently, I feel. And that worries me a bit. But hopefully it's just... a
lot of people questioning Southgate's job. But, I mean, this is like one loss in, like, however many years. Like, many years.
Yeah, I don't think...
It's a bit ridiculous to question his job. Because he's the most successful England manager since they won the World Cup in '66.
Yeah, I agree. And he has done a great job. He's done really good. He's got to a semi-final. He's got to a final. But with the squad we have now, I believe that we have a lot of quality in our squad, and we should be able to win something.
We should.
I don't think it's obviously we should demand. Look, we lost on penalties in the final, but I feel like this team could have another level to give, and whether Southgate can unlock that, I think that remains to be seen.
And finally, Sweden, Kulusevski, his second game in international break, grabbed himself a brilliant goal in the first game and an assist in the second game. So Kulusevski is really going for strength to strength. He's been on record now doing his interviews saying how much he loves it at Tottenham, and he's found a home here. So just happy days there with Kulusevski. I mean, we couldn't be more happy, and he's already like a big fan's favourite already, isn't he?
Yeah, and he seems to be having a lot of fun on his international break. Great goal he scored on the first one against Slovenia. What a run and finish that was into the top corner. And the assist was a decent assist. I guess he just was a layoff on the edge of the box, but it wasn't the most amazing assist. But he's been doing really, really well. The Kulusevski and Saka debates has been hotly debated over the past few days on Twitter. If you haven't seen that,
if you haven't seen Simeon has been picking off the Gooners one by one on Twitter. They've been getting riled up with everything he's been putting on Twitter. So I've been loving every second of it. I'm not going to lie.
But I think he's been fantastic since coming to the Premier League. I think he doesn't maybe get the credit he deserves, and I think he's in for a big season next season, Kulusevski. And I can't wait to see more of him. I think he's going from strength to strength. I think the quality he has, technique-wise, I think he's got another level to give, Kulusevski. And I think, look, he did get a lot of assists, but you got to remember, he got 5 goals. I think he's going to get so many more goals next season. He just showed he showed he gave us a kind of inkling against Norwich of what he can do with that left foot. And because I've been saying it for weeks and weeks, he's got to be doing that more with his left foot because he's dynamite. And he showed that pretty much once against Norwich. But next season,
can't wait.
Yeah, he's going to be doing it more often. I'm telling you, that left foot of his is going to be getting goals. I can't wait for it. And I'm looking.
How much do you think he can get? 15?
I think he should be aiming for 10 at least next season. Yeah.
I'd agree.
In all competitions. I think he's got, in the 2 or 3 years, for sure, it should be 10 to 15 goals a season, 100%. Next season, you don't want to put too much pressure on him. I think 10 goals is definitely achievable.
I'd agree. But I think that is all we've got for you guys today. The clips will be with you very soon. And if anything else breaks, we'll bring it to you right here first on We Are Tottenham TV. So thank you everyone for watching today. Monstrous numbers from you guys once again. So thank you very much for joining us today. We'll see you all very soon. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.